Illustrator CS5 introduces two new drawing modes that help us draw more efficiently. One of them is called Draw Behind, which allows you to draw artwork beneath other objects. The other one is called Draw Inside, which allows you to draw artwork inside of other artwork. Let's take a closer look at how both of these drawing modes work and how they can work for you. First, let's talk about the Draw Behind mode. Ordinarily inside of Illustrator, we have something called the stacking order. That means that some objects are above or beneath others. When you're working inside of Illustrator, many times when you have a piece of art selected, you may want to adjust where that artwork appears in the stacking order by going to the Object menu and choosing one of these options from the Arrange submenu. However, Illustrator's default behavior is that it always draws new objects on top of the stacking order. That means if you know a piece of art needs to go beneath something else, it's a two-step process for you. First, you create the artwork at the top of the stacking order. Then, after selecting that artwork, you send it towards the back. So I'll direct your attention down over here in the tool panel, right near towards the bottom over here, where I have something called the Draw Normal mode. But right next to that is something called the Draw Behind mode. I'm going to go ahead and click on that icon, and that means that right now, anytime I draw a new artwork, it's going to be drawn beneath other artwork. For example, when I now take this circle and I draw a circle here, it's going to get drawn behind this paint can. Let me change the color so you can see that it was drawn beneath the paint can there. This can be helpful many times when you're working with artwork and you know you need to draw artwork that appears beneath other objects. There's another draw mode inside of Illustrator called Draw Inside. And what this mode really does is it creates clippy masks on the fly as you work. For example, you can see that on my artboard right now, this big yellow circle right now is selected. If I come to the bottom of my Tools panel, I'll see a third option here called Draw Inside. I'm going to click on that button right now, and you'll see that these dashed lines appear as a border around that piece of art. This indicates that right now, anything that I draw is going to be drawn inside of that shape. For example, I'm going to choose my pencil tool here and make some scribbles here, and you'll notice that even though my paths go outside the circle, when I deselect it, you'll see that those are not visible. I've drawn those paths, but they're clipped inside of this shape. Anything else that I draw will always be clipped inside this shape as long as this border is visible. To get out of the Draw Inside mode, I can either come back over here and click on the Draw Normal mode, or I can simply double-click anywhere on my artboard to also return to the Draw Normal mode. One of the nicest things about this Draw Inside mode, though, is how it works with copy and paste. In fact, for users who have worked with freehand in the past, you're familiar with a command called Paste Inside. Well, now inside of Illustrator CS5, I could, for example, take this shape, and I'll drag a copy of it over here. And let me make it just a little bit bigger, so I'm going to scale it up in size. And I want to now place this photograph and clip it within this shape right over here. Rather than have to manually create a clipping mask, I could simply activate the Draw Inside mode. The keyboard shortcut to toggle between the different modes is to press Shift-D on your keyboard. So if I tap Shift-D the first time, I am now in Draw Behind mode. If I tap Shift-D one more time, now I am in Draw Inside mode. Again, the third time, and that toggles me back to the Draw Normal mode. So if I know I want to paste that photograph right now into the shape, I'm going to tap Shift-D twice to now enter the Draw Inside mode. Now I'll switch to my selection tool and take this photograph right here and copy it by pressing Command-C or Control-C on the keyboard. And now I'll simply hit Command-V or paste, and you can see now that the photograph is pasted directly inside of that shape. That's because I was in the Draw Inside mode, so anything that I draw, even whatever I paste, gets done inside of that shape. I can press Shift-D to go back to Draw Normal mode, and in effect, I've created a clipping mask. When working with the black arrow, I can now go ahead and deselect that shape and move this around as one unit, or double-click on this to enter isolation mode, where I can now click and move that photograph around inside the shape, double-click once again outside of it to exit isolation mode, and once more, move my shape around as needed. So I think you'll find really quickly that dancing between these different draw modes, Draw Normal, Draw Behind, and Draw Inside, can be extremely helpful and efficient when using Illustrator CS5.